Hi there, it's Lou, that yacht girl, and I'm still here at the Nautical Ventures Open Day for Axopars, and I'm currently perched on the side of the last of the walkthroughs I'm going to do today, which is the 37XC, the cross cabin. This has the cross cabin style, the layout has always been one of my personal faves, and there are still multiple options with the layout with regards to this version as well. So we're going to have a look at some of those, but let's do a walkthrough of the Axopar 37XC. So we'll start from the back and work our way forward here. On this one, you've got twin 350 Mercuries, the V10 versions. So that's a newish motor for Mercury. The V10s, everything I hear is good stuff about those. And we've got the Sports Arch, which is a very Axopar feature. You can see you've got great boarding platforms down the back here as well, so super easy to step on and off the dock from that. And being a Bravus edition, we've got all the black rails along the side, so you'll see lots of really cool design features on this particular version as well. So the styling of this is very utilitarian, very functional in its style. The cross cabins, I always think, have been a super funky look. The inverted windshield, lots of overhang on the bow there. And then coming up to the bow of the boat, we've got a magnificent forward area on this boat as well. All that sun pad area there, you've got lots of natural light coming down into the cabin below. And of course the gull wing doors, which we'll have a look at in a minute. And very typically the Axopar bow, the shape of that, and the anchor out proud there on the bow, so you should never hit the bow of the boat with the anchor when you're deploying it or retrieving it. While we're here, let's have a look at the roof. I'll put you right up there to have a look. You can see we've got a solar panel at the front, and that would help, I guess, with house batteries for the most part. You can see that we've got the opening roof through the middle there, and they're optional as either electric or manual. And also I love the roof rack, so you can stack some stand-up paddle boards up there or kayaks. You know, I love that these boats are so practical for having all of your water toys with you and just having fun on the water. You can see also they've cleverly integrated there the poles, which are for your sunshades. So on this particular one, I think they're going to be for your bow shades. I can see the plugs up forward there for the bow shades. While we're here, from this perspective, we can also see these huge wide doors opening on the sides as well. I really love that about these. It opens it up completely, or opens it up a lot to get great airflow running through there. So with those open and your sun top, you would have massive ventilation through there, which I think is just fantastic. Or when it's either too hot or too cold, you can close those up and you're nicely tucked away from the elements. So let's step on board. Okay, so as we step onto the aft area of this boat, you can see that we've got storage lockers on both sides here, perfect for the fenders. We've also got plugs there for the poles for another sunshade. And you can see with this configuration, this boat does have the aft cabin option. So your aft deck is pretty much taken up with sun pad area. Now that's great if you do want to use that sun pad area and you need that extra accommodation down below, but there are other options, including having a single sofa along the back there. I think you can also option it with a galley along that section there, which is probably what I would choose, and then leave this aft deck area nice and open so that you could use it for setting up water toys and hopping in and out of the water, even storing dive tanks, that sort of thing. You can see they've got some rocket launchers there on the roof, and on this one at the moment, the mast is still down. We're short a couple of bolts there. So let's step on over. You can see Axopar have included these little hooks here, which is a safety feature to latch on. You can attach yourself to the boat if you're working around down here while the boat's underway. And another storage locker. And again, on the sun pad area, you can either have those center cushions in or out. So if you want to get extra light down into that aft cabin, you can flip that forward and get light down into there. So let's move on along up the side. It's nice and wide here. There's plenty of walk area. I find along the side is just great. You've got your fuel filler there. Now, I've noticed on all the Axopars, they don't have side boarding doors, which perhaps is a shame, but they do have that step in there to be able to step up and over onto the dock. And bearing in mind, you've got such great access on those rear swim platforms, I don't find that too much of an issue. And then up onto the bow, this area up here on the 37XC is pretty impressive. The anchor up forward there, as you can see, the anchor locker, you've got access to that just here, and this cushion sits over on top of that as well. And then this vast sun pad area. And if I'm right, we've got a latch under here. Whoop, if I can get it open. There we go. We've got another locker in under there as well. So a bit of extra storage into there. You can see the cup holders there. And of course, we've got the gull wing doors. So let's have a bit of a look at those. Okay, so interestingly, I assumed that this boat had the gull wing doors on the sides. The cushion here is set up as though they were going to open up onto each other, but actually it's an optional extra, and this particular version doesn't have them. I've been looking around for the button, couldn't find it anywhere, total blonde moment. So this particular one does not have the gull wings, but it is an optional extra. So let's step on through. Actually, let's just stop and have a look at that windshield. I think that is super cool. I love that one big piece of glass wrapped around there. You've got twin wipers under that. I think I just love the styling of it, apart from anything else. So let's step on around through one of these huge doors on the side here into the cabin area. So let's just take an overall look at that for a moment. Now, again, this is the Bravest edition, so you've got some really nice Bravest touches here and there. The seats a little bit more special, and again, super comfortable. I love these seats. And as we look around to the after the cabin, you've got this dining area here. So the table, convertible, opens up, obviously. That is a fixed table. And then we've got the nice seating area in the back here. You've got some cup holders, storage pockets, fridge down the side here. And then over the front, from memory, that is access down into batteries. And you've got your main switches there for the batteries there. You've got the nice storage pocket and the footrest. And then the helm area. So let's have a look at the helm. So I'm here at the helm station, and I thought it's worth having a chat about something interesting I've just noticed with these. The original Axopar 28 was a single engine, principally single engine, and they came with a bow thruster just to give that extra maneuverability on and off the dock, which I think is great. And once you get to a certain length of boat, I find bow thrusters super useful to have, even if you've got IPS, even if you've got joystick operation. This one, however, was not optioned with the joystick. I'm imagining it is an option. It's got twin Mercuries, so I can't see why you wouldn't have that on there now, or couldn't. But it's not fitted on this particular version. It does have your bow thruster still, and frankly, the only thing that I think you'd really miss by not having the joystick might be the sky hook, the positioning system to keep you in place, which, take it or leave it, they function to different degrees of, functionality when it comes to outboard versions with the joysticks. So this one instead has twin engine controls and a bow thruster, and really there isn't much you shouldn't be able to do on a boat with that setup anyway. The Bravest steering wheel is super cool. It doesn't have the fancy buttons that they had on the 45, but I think you could probably live without that as well. A couple of nice Simrad screens. You've got a pocket down here for cell phones and the like. And again, the buttons as well, which I find nice. I'm glad they've not gone to anything touch screen for basic operation of different features on the boat as well. The seats, as usual with Axopar, you've got the bolster. They're a really comfortable seat when that's down. That is a super comfy seat. They've got this nice padding in the back. Love that. Also love the look of them. So let's head on down to the cabins. Okay, so camera wobbling. In this relatively cozy space, it's tricky to film, but I did want to try and show you how this seat works to get into the aft cabin, because I just had a look at it myself and I had to work it out. Once you see it, it's really obvious. But it's kind of some clever design again, I would say, from Axopar. We simply lift this up this way, fold the seat down. There are two little straps here on either side that just hook in to an eye there. And that's how that stays up. So again, functionality and form go hand in hand with anything Axopar. And I just love that that is a well-designed, well thought out, and just really simple operational feature. So let's have a look around the cabin. It is really clean and pretty simply finished. You've got a really good sized bed back here. It doesn't look like this is convertible to sofas or anything. This is just purely bed space. You've got a couple of hatches up the top there for extra light if wanted, or ventilation. And then of course the blinds on the side, on both sides on those windows. And I did learn something interesting just now about the air conditioning systems on board the boats. They do run with a 110 air conditioning system and an inverter, so that you can actually run it non-stop when the engines are running, or when you're at anchor, engines off. You've got a lifespan to it, and depending on how you run it, how you manage that system, that will give you quite a lot of autonomy with the air conditioning as well. So now as we start to step through into the forward cabin, this is something I find really interesting. You're basically walking through your head. So as you step down inside to the cabin, you can see here we've got the frosted glass, and that looks like that's going to become your shower door. Okay, so again, I'm going to try and demonstrate this to you in a fairly cozy space, so bear with me. But we do have the door there, so that seals off your head and shower. We've also got a door over here, and in behind this is actually where you've got your shower handle. And of course, I am demonstrating that you do have a seat here, so you can sit here and have a shower. There is definitely not full standing head height here. So, you know, it's not a full walk-in bathroom, but let's bear in mind this is a 37-foot boat, and it's really designed for a lot of outdoor entertaining and you know, having fun on the water with water sports, this sort of thing. I think this might be a really neat solution. And of course, when I shut this door, you're going to have to trust me on this. There is a head and a small hand basin back here with a mirror and some storage. So I think that's a pretty cool solution to actually giving you a good size head area. The shower is decent. Yes, you've got to sit down to take a shower. Not the worst thing in the world. I think that's a pretty clever workout. And as we move through into the cabin area proper, you can see we've got seating on both sides, and I'm guessing there's going to be storage wherever possible behind those. You've also got what is a really nice size double bed there. Plenty big enough. We've got these little flaps here, which would be the step. If you did have the gull wing doors, that would be your step into the cabin, so you can choose to leave those up if you were sleeping here and not hit your head on it, I guess. But that's a pretty good sized bed. There's some natural ventilation up there, lots of natural light coming from that overhead. Sockets. You know, this is a great overnight cabin for, you know, an adventure, an occasional weekend jaunt. So this was a quick walkthrough of the 37XC. I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, I love these boats. I still love this cabin styling. I love the Axopar design. Their whole designs are legendary. You know, I think they put out a really, really great product. I'm still a massive fan. So a huge thanks again to Nautical Ventures for having me down here at their open day at the 17th Street Yacht Basin. Please do like and subscribe. I know I keep forgetting to say that. And I'll be back soon with some more walkthrough videos.